Hi, welcome to Naija Tesla fam. We just took a road trip in our Tesla Model Y across the United States, from DC to California, back to DC again. I'll tell you all about our 8,000-mile road trip in this video, including issues that we had. This was our second road trip that we took in our Tesla. Our last video covers our 1,600-mile trip that we took up to Maine, so check that one out for more road tripping basics. On this trip, we drove 8,000 miles, and it was over 100 hours of driving time, not including the countless hours of supercharging along the way. We took full advantage of autopilot on this trip. Driving hundreds of miles at a time on long highways would have been miserable without our Tesla. I'm going to take you on our journey through 20 states and their various landscapes and climates, and I'll talk about all of the issues that we had. By the way, we camped in our Tesla for several nights throughout our trip, and our next video will be all about that. So come with me on our drive. Just a few hours into our trip, the car started shaking whenever we were driving more than 65 or 70 miles per hour. We could tell there was something wrong with one of our tires, so we stopped at some random place in West Virginia to check it out and rebalance our tire. We thought it was fine after that, but as soon as we got back onto the highway, we were having the same exact issue. We then stopped at a different location of the same auto shop, and they fixed it again, and we went on our way again, but the issue still persisted. We ended up calling the closest Tesla service center on our route, which was in Columbus, Ohio, to see if they could squeeze us in, because the next available appointment on the app was days away. They told us that if we were driving in unsafe conditions, then they'd be able to take us without an appointment. It did feel scary driving with an uncontrollably shaking car, so we met that criteria. We drove slowly until we got there, and when we did, they realized that our recently replaced tire was defective. Apparently, Tesla tires have a layer of foam inside for noise reduction. Part of the foam was loose in the tire and it was flying around while we were driving, and that's what was causing the shaking feeling. Now, this service center location didn't have the foam tire at the time, so they temporarily gave us a non-foam tire to get us to the next service center location on our route, which was in Indianapolis, Indiana. They had the right tire for us in stock and they replaced it for free, since we had just had this tire replaced the week before due to a puncture. Finally, we were back to smooth driving. This was our first time driving the Tesla in the snow. The highways were mostly fine, but we followed advice we'd read and turned the regenerative braking setting to low instead of standard because of potential icy conditions. The first time we camped in our Tesla was in Arizona. There is so much that I want to tell you about our camping experience, such as the initial difficulties in figuring out where to camp, where you can camp safely for free, how much the outside temperature impacted the battery overnight in camp mode, and more. Keep an eye out for our next video, which will go into all the details about camping. As we were leaving Page, Arizona, we wanted to check out Rainbow Point in Bryce Canyon, Utah. Unfortunately, while we were trying to map out the plan, we realized that there were not enough superchargers nearby. We would have had to drive an extra 2 hours to a supercharger out of the way before getting to Rainbow Point, and then backtrack 2 hours to get back out. We ended up skipping that spot because we didn't want to add an extra 4 hours for that view. With a gas car, it would have been more convenient. When driving down Route 550 in Colorado, we barely used autopilot. The roads were winding and there were no guardrails next to the cliffs by the road. It was way too scary to risk it. We made it back to DC in one piece after 3 weeks of traveling across the country. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions about our trip. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Naija Tesla Fam.